One drink, then you're gone.
Give me a holy bartender.
Never heard of it.
He doesn't know how to make a holy bartender. You do, don't you, Muse?
Don't.
Ah. Anybody? No? Well, I know how to make a holy bartender. Get it?
Dogma marks a drastic departure from Kevin Smith's earlier New Jersey trilogy, in that it's a fantasy film referencing the Bible. Whereas his past films more or less dissected pop culture and analyzed human relationships, Dogma analyzes the faults and the holes inherent in Catholic dogma. But is it a signature Kevin Smith film?
Go back to your paper route, you mighty duck fucks! Snoogans.
Well, you tell me. Aside from Jay and Silent Bob having more prominent roles, the references to past Smith films are few and far between. The only one I can think of off the top of my head is the appearance of TV newscaster Grant Hicks, played by Brian O'Halloran, who is somehow related to Dante and Gil Hicks from Clerks and Mallrats. However, the film introduces the infamous Mooby's restaurant, which makes an appearance in Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, and ends up being the prominent location for Clerks 2. Dogma is also the first Smith film to include an all-star cast: George Carlin, Linda Fiorentino, Alan Rickman,
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker,
Chris Rock, Salma Hayek, and Alanis Morissette. At this point, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon had already become big celebrities, despite appearances in other Smith flicks. There are also a ton of cameos from Smith alumni, such as Dwight Ewell, Jeff Anderson, Scott Mosier, Brian Johnson, and Walter Flanagan. Ethan Suplee also provides the voice of No Man, the shit demon. We'll get into that in a minute. So Fiorentino plays Bethany Sloan, a clerk at an abortion clinic who's going through a crisis of faith due to her inability to make children.
At least you have an excuse. You're Jewish. You don't know any better.
She's approached by the Metatron, an angel who claims to be the voice of God, who charges Bethany with a holy crusade. Her task? To stop Bartleby and Loki, two renegade angels, from entering heaven and destroying existence.
I hate it when people need it spelled out for them.
He tells her she'll have help from two prophets, but Bethany, being a non-believer, turns down his offer and dismisses the whole occurrence as a dream. That is until she's attacked by the Stygian triplets, demons sent from hell, who of course have to pose as hockey players, another Smith staple. And who should come to the rescue but Smith's recurring creations, Jay and Silent Bob, who happen to be the prophets Metatron was referring to. She mentions her quest, but all Jay can think about is ass-fucking and sexual favors from Bethany.
So you do anal? Is it true that chicks fart if you blast them in the ass?
I didn't ask you out for sex.
I'll take head.
On their way to Jersey, where all this is supposed to take place, they also run into Rufus, the 14th apostle, who has a beef with the Bible because they left him out of it. They also meet the Muse, played by Hayek, who has a beef with God because she has writer's block and therefore can no longer inspire people. While Jay and Bob compete with a rival street gang over tits, they're ambushed by the Golgothan shit demon. This creature is the whole centerpiece of the movie. At the time Smith was making it, Dogma was a heated topic of debate amongst religious enthusiasts, Christians especially. It was the inclusion of the shit demon that finally got people to see that all this was a harmless comedy. Bartleby and Loki, after laying down God's wrath on the owners of movies, meet up with Azrael, played by, this is no surprise, Jason Lee. Azrael warns the angels about heaven's and hell's intents to kill them due to a conflict of interest. Ignoring Azrael's warning, the angels confront Bethany's party on a train, taking them to Jersey.
No ticket.
After this fiasco, the party regroups as Bethany finds out what her true linkage to God is.
Ah! Why? What the fuck do you want from me? I fucking hate you!
At this point, Metatron shows up to console her, and then Jay comes up with the idea to ask Cardinal Glick to postpone the ceremony that will allow the angels to negate existence.
Neither you nor any other influence, short of the hand of God himself, is going to keep this thing from going off without a hitch.
Dogma is generally enjoyed by critics and Kevin Smith fans. It says something personal, but sugarcoats it with a plethora of dick and fart jokes.
I don't know what to say or think, except...
That's your all first sex as a reward? I didn't come on you, Pete, I swear.
As for me, I find it to be a very entertaining film, inventive and clever. Seriously, how many comedies actually use events from the Bible? There have been a few in its wake, but Dogma came first. Compared to the other films in Smith's repertoire, I could say it's on par. While it has the slapsticky moments from Mallrats, there's integrity in this film. Those who can't stomach the barrage of gay jokes can enjoy other things. It pleases several different audiences. However, because of its fantasy nature, I would also have to set it apart from the close-to-home nature of his past films. This one's just a regular old comedy, and while it doesn't speak as closely to me, I'm Jewish, and therefore I wasn't completely impacted by it, it definitely bears Smith's comedic mark. Next week we're going to explore what is probably Smith's most mainstream film, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.